All right, people, have a look what we have here. We are doing some engine tuning with Paul, the VW extraordinaire. He's been here before. He lives in that in the powder cutting oven over there. His bed's in there. But we're just going to give this a health check. That's right, a health check.
We don't know what the motor's done. We don't know what.
Yeah, so it's a 1600 twin port. It is a twin port with a single carby on it. I think we did say that before. It's a 32, 30, 34. 34, hang on. 31. It's a 31.
It's a bit small for a twin port.
Yeah,
It's got a modification plate on it.
Oh, yes, there's
Someone's done something to it.
Yeah, so there's a modification plate on it right there.
And looking at the plug, she's running a little bit rich.
And she's running rich. Ah, yes.
Maybe oily.
Oily, okay. So
Doesn't taste like oil.
No?
It smells like oil.
Yeah, righto.
But it's not. It's carbony, so we will find out.
Okay.
It hasn't been run very much, so it's more than likely just been sitting. Could be a sticky choke, could be just run.
So the first things first is we pull the plugs out.
And we'll give it a compression test. Now it hasn't got a regulator attached, so it's probably best we take the fan belt off so we don't do anything to the regulator, the generator.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll test the points, see where the timing's at, and yeah, do a tappet adjustment, and then plugs, put some clean sets in, check the leads, we've got enough, not too much resistance.
And we're going to start it on the floor. We have all the tools over here. This is the remote starter motor with a chopped up piece of gearbox and all the other little bits and pieces. So yeah, we'll stick you on the tripod, tripod thing, whatever you want to call it, and we will start diving into the motor and see what number out of 10 we will give the condition of this thing. Okay, so that's your positive to your battery, that is your negative to your battery, and then you've got your...
This is your power feed for your coil.
Power feed for the coil.
And if you have to do an individual check on your shut-off valve or that's a pure shut-off valve, so when it stops the idling, you want to make sure that works. And then of course your choke, electric choke, and your pilot light, your
pressure, oil pressure
light, which you can clip on, put a bulb in the circuit somehow, and just touch it, and you'll find out that pressure's off. But I used to have a wire, just a spade fitting onto that, male, female, with a globe in the middle.
Yeah.
So it stays on. You can tell if it's off when it comes off. That's the best way, because you know it's done, but I didn't bring it, so that's what you've got. Okay, so these are your plugs. In order, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see they're fairly uniform. A little bit more carbon on number 1 and number 3.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad. So 1 and 3 out the back, or at the front of the motor, the flywheel, and back in this position. And yeah, if they're running rich, it could be a jetting issue,
right,
or a choke issue,
right,
or an oil issue. Yeah. So all disconnected. So what we want to do now is do a compression test. Plugs are out. We're going to put the compression gauge on it and the battery. First thing we do, I just want to check for solenoid. So you listen to the solenoid. We'll just see this power first. That's what you want to hear, the click, click.
Right.
Okay, now that there, you can check the resistance, or you can hook up the coil. You should
take it off.
You should get a little spark. Yeah, that might not be working.
Right.
But we can check that with a multimeter later on. So we don't want the coil activated yet. We're doing this compression test. So get your little compression gauge into hole number 1.
Okay, so
here's number 1, he says.
Where's number 1? It's over. It's right here.
For your convenience.
Yeah, like it's right there and there, right?
So we give it 5 winds with the throttle open completely. As long as you're consistent, you'll get there. So you're basically going to... I'll do the sparky thing. So I'm opening the throttle up completely, flat chat. There's no fuel in there. Watch, it's going to make noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're leaking at the start. Let's start do it again.
And it's not holding its pressure.
Is this because you're leaking?
Well,
actually, I'll use mine.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I've got the screw in below.
Oh, it's not just this thing. Tell you what though, that
good pressure?
Yeah, that pulled back pretty good.
You're looking for between 90 and 130.
Right. Okay.
And the battery does sound a little bit weak.
It does?
If it weakens, then it's going to make it harder to start and keep the...
okay.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing there with this is jumping between the start and the power.
Right.
Just toggle it.
Yeah, yeah.
So just watch the gauge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we are...
70, that's really low.
Is it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But you can hear there's some sort of noise there that shouldn't be there. Ick, 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 ick.
Oh.
Listen, let's just push the little button. Just listen to it. Leave that on. Wide open throttle, and again. Now either it's leaking around that, which it could be. Sounds like it's in properly. Which couldn't... Oh, I think that might not be in properly. Yeah, it's just leaking. So that can be done in the car, as in now. You can do that without pulling the motor apart.
Right.
If you want to. So you got a I've got a helicoil kit at home.
So, yeah, okay.
Right, I was thinking about when it comes down. Should get a helicoil kit. So that's number one problem. Okay, so that's the number one problem.
Ding! Up on the screen. Helicoil.
Yeah, well,
thread.
So that's not unusual. Now, that usually happens on number 3.
Ah.
Or, if people don't know how to look after their motors, they over torque the thing.
Yep.
And they rip them out, but they just fatigue. They're aluminium.
Of course, the heads are, yeah. Yeah.
So they will fatigue.
Yep.
So, okay, so it's got a dodgy... Actually, just check the thread on that one while we're at it. You got the light in the hole. You got the pointy bit on there. Here's the pointy bit.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that thread's good.
Go and check the other one now.
Oh, yeah, no.
Big difference, yeah?
Yeah, that's stuffed.
Okay. So that's the stuff that... But the one I've got, the helicoil kit I've got...
So we take this tinware off, obviously, to
No, we
get
can do
a
it
better
in
access.
place.
Really?
If you want to. If you had to... If you're doing it... Like, not doing it at work. If you want to, you can do it in place.
Right.
So what you can do is you can hook up your compressor to...
So is it a ring that goes out like another... Wouldn't it change the size if you helicoil? Aren't you putting a sleeve in there, or you're actually drilling a hole?
No, the helicoil follows the original thread.
Right.
And then it's got a tapered cut, and it takes it out to the next size, and you put the helicoil in. So the thing's...
Ah, so you are actually removing material, and then and there's an actual sleeve going in there. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So that's why we couldn't get it.
You want me to wind?
Yeah.
And you know what? This morning was hurting.
Yeah, mine's hurting today too.
No, funny from yesterday.
Come on, really? Yeah, you can start that.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a bend in it. That's the problem. I need a new one. That's done 20 years of service.
Really?
Yeah. So, okay, helicoil. We'll check the other ones here. It's got a little bend in it. You just want to get it straight, and then once you find that pickup, right, or we can use yours again. Shit, it's bugger, eh? Once you're on it, it'll bite.
I've got a feeling it's because that tinware's in the way again. Hang on. Just want to make sure that isn't. No, it's not at all.
Save your ass, man.
Here we go. Hang on.
You'll find it. Just square it up, and she'll take it. And once she takes the first thread, she's all right. She's got to find that first thread, and it'll turn 3 times.
Hold the torch.
New line.
No, it doesn't want to. How weird's that?
No, we'll find it.
Could that thread be stuffed as well? Okay.
I'll do number 3. It's in there. Just keep that for a second. We'll do 5-1 for number 3. So wide open throttle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you're on 140?
Wow, that's good. Yeah, the
135. Yeah.
That's optimum.
Right.
For this size engine,
Right.
for this style of engine, no modifications, stock, 135 is about
right.
normal to good.
Okay.
Good, actually.
Do that one. So obviously with that thread leaking, and we got it to 90, but obviously with the thread fixed, it'll be probably up around the 122.
And what we'll do, we'll use your little baby there, and you can push really hard against it.
Oh, okay. We'll do that.
Because you don't need the thread.
Yeah.
Okay, this one took easily too, so I don't know why that one didn't take.
All
So,
right.
did you make a note of that? 135. Mental note, good. I got it already.
Hang on, cylinder 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah. I'll get my phone. And
These ones should be the same.
Yeah. Okay.
1, feels the same. You can hear it. Ooh,
150.
Ooh, that's high. 150.
150.
That's high.
Yeah.
So that means there's discrepancies
It just dropped a little bit.
Oh, 140.
Hang on. No, but it was 150 when I... It's just because I was trying to turn it like
Push it
that.
up again. Very good. That's almost performance mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pretty close to 150.
Yeah, 145. That's 140. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Okay.
under 150 is acceptable.
Right.
It's high.
Yeah.
There's a discrepancy between those two cylinders, which means, you know, one of the chambers is smaller or one of the chambers is bigger, or there's a leaky valve. And we'll do a tappet check and do it again after that. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hang on. That didn't be
Yeah, this isn't holding.
Just have to read the numbers that comes up then.
Yeah, it's not staying up there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
120.
Oh,
Here's the helicoil kit.
made for this purpose. I will take off 3 coils, 4 coils. So that's the one I want to break into. How's your eyesight? I can't get through all of these bastards, but I'm going to ditch that one so I don't need it, so I can bend that out, if it will.
Yeah, you can see how these little things work.
Okay. So I'll break that back. So basically, when I screw that in,
It's going to be
I
flush
want
with...
full threads, and I don't want any threads in the combustion chamber.
Right.
Okay, so that's about right. So I'll just ditch that off just before I bend it. And you can buy the coils the right length, but I haven't got them with me. Okay, so that's what you want.
Okay.
That's the height you're after. So
Yeah.
when you screw that onto your, and it's inside your thing, you will have the right height because you've got the spark plug in there. Okay, so the tool for application, that's for taking out.
Yep.
That's for putting in. So that goes in, and you turn it in once you've opened the thread up to the height and thick. So that's got the original thread there,
Yep.
and this is the bigger thread to take the helicoil. So it matches the helicoil. When
Yep.
it's all in place, that goes in. So we should be putting the compressor onto, opening up the exhaust valve in this chamber. So that's open. We put the air into the exhaust. So we've got air blowing out the chamber without the plug in. If we wanted to block off the other cylinders, we can put the spark plugs in there so the air only comes out of that cylinder.
Oh, right.
Okay, because you might have a partially open exhaust on some other cylinder.
Right, okay. So,
we'll put the 2 plugs in, because this one won't. So what we'll do, okay, we've got everything off at the moment, right? So we'll turn it to, what have we got now? We're in number, so we want the exhaust valve open. So I'll get you to watch the exhaust valve on number 1 or 2. So when the exhaust valve's open, just tell me. We'll turn the motor over. So it should actually, let's see. That's better.
no, there.
So I'm going to keep turning until one of those opens up.
Right.
Right? So that one's, they're all off.
Off,
The other
yeah.
one that's open. So if you get your compressor now,
Yep.
and we put that up there and seal it so the compressor's pumping some air in there,
Let me
your
turn.
fragments will blow out of the exhaust. Put your finger. Feel the air coming out? Yeah, if you want more air, which is probably a bad idea, you probably should. Depends how many leaks in your exhaust system, but there shouldn't be.
Well, I hope not.
No. But you can always up your regulator so there's more flow coming out of that.
That goes on the tool.
That goes on the tool. No, I'm going to just use a bit of grease because I don't want the bastard falling off me again. Not that it fell off the first time. You didn't see that. Okay.
That's better.
So we want to line up that little...
Okay, those still good?
Yep, and get the other side.
Yep.
For the ratchet for...
Spark plugs. There's a real trick to just putting these in with your fingers. Oh yeah. Alright, socket. Handle part would be good.
I've got the other size. Wrong point down.
Do you torque spec these things? We'll just go sort of...
I don't.
You kind of know, don't you?
Well, it's quarter of a turn from stop.
Yeah, yeah.
With alloy, The torque setting they have on this is actually quite high.
Yeah, right.
A little higher than I expect to pay.
Okay, so we're looking at starting,
So you have
getting the
light goes
timing
on.
set.
So there's your light. Right, when the point's open, that lights up.
Yep.
So we want to make sure we push the distributor down into the body of the car,
Right.
and that's it where we want to light it. So it's live, so you will get a shock if you touch the wrong thing. So try not to touch the right thing. Wrong thing's okay. Now it will move traditionally. It should still be open. Okay. Now it's a little bit past 10, so it's about 8 degrees, 9 degrees at this point in time, which is okay for starting it up. Okay, so we'll check again. You can hold the test lamp on the carbon, please. So I've gone backwards. Okay, now test lamp should lark up when that timing mark, which is there. Is it on?
No. Yes.
Okay. Did you hear that? It stopped and came back.
Here it is.
It's on right on timing mark.
Right.
See the timing mark here?
Yeah, yep,
With your GoPro?
yep.
That's the timing mark. Right. Put some white paint in that so you can find it easily. Okay, we'll disconnect the power because when you put your distributor cap on, it's going to go bite.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
holding
live.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wants to eat you. So distributor cap.
Ta-da.
That's the one you bought earlier. Now it should check the resistance on that and all the leads. And they should be between, I think it's 3,000 ohm, around 3,000 ohm, less
Okay.
than. If it's more than 5,000 ohm, you want to replace the leads probably.
So they're just worn out and...
Oh, there's resistance somewhere
Resistance,
in the cap. These
yeah.
caps are resistor caps.
Right.
So there's a resistor in that, so you've got to check the resistance through the whole lead.
Right,
And it should be less than 5,000.
Okay.
5,000 getting up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now we put our fuel on.
All right.
Just spill it, there's no live power.
So we want to run that
Through the petrol
through...
pump.
I think I'd put it through here. I ran it down through there and then...
Why is that difficult?
Well, because then it's going to... The can's going to sit up here. Otherwise it'll fall out. That was the theory anyway. I think that's how I did it. No, see, because now it's not working. No, it's
Oh,
not
because
good.
you had the air cleaner on before too.
Oh, that's why.
Well, we'll do that again.
That's why. Because it was sitting on the air cleaner.
Before we do that. Check. And your bracket bolt.
No, still not right. What have I done differently?
I think you've gone. The way I was going was going.
Hey?
The way I was going.
No, it's just like it seems like it's super long now.
Yeah, no, you want to go down behind the coil and flip it up. Yeah,
That's probably what I did, yeah.
yeah, I reckon you did.
Yeah.
I don't remember going behind electrical leads. Yeah, I think you went through that gap. Try that, Nick. Now, feel it, feel it.
Yeah, now she's locked.
Yes.
Right. We don't need a cap. We don't need a clamp on that. It's not going to blow that off, is it?
It won't blow it off, but it might leak, it might weep. But you don't. You can just try a little bit of petrol. You don't need to put it through.
Yeah, just to start it, right?
If it does leak, we have to do something about it because you'll start a fire.
We don't want to do that. But we do have we have a fire extinguisher up on the wall there, big one.
Got to bring it closer.
Yeah. Now, we're probably going to have to put most of this in. Oh, does that have to breathe? Is this going to pressurise?
Yeah, suck out.
Yeah, so we have to leave it open.
It's just a little bit. I got a pinhole in mine, but that's okay. It's just spray it in the holes you want. Okay, you ready? That's enough. Good front pulley. Give it squirt. That pulley is.
Oh, is it?
You watch it. Have a look at it.
Shit.
There's your north lead. You hear it? That crack? Hear the head.
just need another pulley.
Quite healthy.
It is. You can hear it.
That crack that you hear there,
Yeah.
you'll have to find that.
Right.
Because that'll cause backfiring when he's driving. That's
Right.
fine.
Right. So you reckon that's coming from? Well, it's got to be that one there, isn't it?
I'll
Yeah.
start it again and just put your finger under there and see if you can feel the pack,
Okay.
pack. Because you can actually, or see if you can hear the crack.
Yes.
Because it's definitely in that vicinity.
Yeah.
And if someone tells you what to do with a screwdriver, I'll be
It
really
actually does. It does sound
It's smooth,
all right.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good. It's not bad. Those two spark plugs will definitely fuck.
Man, that pulley's rooted.
You feel it kick off every time.
Yeah.
That's the inertia.
Yeah. 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 It's right there.
Right at the flange of the head, isn't it?
Looks like it's running rich.
Yeah, you can tell it.
Yeah.
The choke should be on. So you don't have to do is check it. Will it die now? We'll
Yeah.
just check. We'll just leave it on now. But we're going to take the air cleaner off and
Right.
the fuel source. We're going to leave the power on and see if the choke opens up. Yeah, so that sounds. There's no clack clack bang bang clack clack bang bang
Yeah.
bang.
Yeah.
Sounds really healthy. Okay?
Right, right.
So,
So-
I think the motor doesn't need a rebuild at this stage.
Yeah.
I think the band-aids are okay.
Yeah.
I'd be taking that front pulley off. So take this thing off if you can, and pull that pulley off.
How do you get that off? Because
Puller. It's just basically under the centre nut.
yeah, and you got to hold the back though, don't you?
No.
No.
Oh well, you can lock the back edge. Put a,
Yeah, yeah.
Put a screw
I've got the lock. I bought that
Yeah,
little
well, that's
mechanism.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
I need one.
Yeah.
It means to buy one of those for 20 years.
yeah. I know. It's in the back, the box
That's
still.
where it is. It might disappear, Nick. Mate.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'd take that off because that vibration's going to transfer through.
So it's a bent pulley, is it?
Yeah.
No way to straighten it,
Well,
obviously.
you probably can, but you'd be playing with it for hours. You can buy aftermarket alloy ones and stuff too, but
Yeah.
you can use it if you want to. So what you do, if you want to leave it on and straighten it,
Oh.
just move the motor. So you got
Dial gauge and
you
tap
can use
it.
a dial gauge, you can use a screwdriver and lever it against the block, and you'll get a lot of that out.
Okay.
Enough.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
enough
yeah,
of it out
yeah.
there.
Cool.
As long as it's not moving up and down,
Yep.
you'll be fine. Now that choke has opened up. That's open.
Right.
That's fully open.
Right.
This thing's rotated upwards.
Yep.
When that comes off and it cools,
It
it'll take
shuts.
time. It'll come down to that position.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll check that. Just leave it up for now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Take this off, and that's pretty much done.
Okay, guys. So here's the motor back in its home, and I did a couple of things off camera. That front pulley, you would have seen in the video, it did have a bit of a wobble in it, and the way I actually fixed it was I got a marker pen and strapped it or sticky taped it onto there, and put some masking tape on the pulley, and just wound it until I found the high and low spot, and then basically just levered it with a little pry bar, and got most of it out. It's actually running quite true now, so happy with that. It's still running a little bit rich, so we have to have a bit of a play around with the idle mixture screw and just play around with that. But we're going to wait till we've got it actually driving before we do that final tune-up on it. But, everything else is sort of buttoned up and put in position. So, yeah, it's looking really good. Happy with the look of it. Try to keep it reasonably original looking. I didn't really want to, put a lot of aftermarket bits and pieces on it. And a point about pulleys, I had a performance motor built by a really good engine builder in Australia, and he actually said to me the aluminium pulleys not really good for your bearings because you've got two different kinds of metal, being crankshaft being steel and the pulley being aluminium. They over time can get themselves loose, and then you can actually develop slop and you can actually shoot out your bearings and wreck the motor. So they're not really that good for performance motors. He sort of recommended putting a steel pulley in, and you do see a lot of aluminium aftermarket ones out there. So just if you've got one on your engine, double check the tightness and make sure it hasn't developed slop in it. You know, because obviously aluminium is a softer material. So you know, you kind of it does sort of make sense if you think about it. Anyway. Yeah, so I just thought I'd do a recap on what we've done, and I will check you in the next video. If you like the content that I'm putting up, give us a thumbs up and a comment, and I will endeavour to post a new video quite soon. Cheers, guys.